Well. Welcome back to the Triforce podcast. Oh,
Jeez.
boy.
Can it really be true?
Oh, another exciting podcast brought to you by three very wild and crazy guys. How's everybody doing?
Oh, splendid.
Yeah.
I had a big clear out of my office.
Right.
For some reason, I decided to do it on the hottest day of the year. I didn't realize it, or one of the hottest day of this coming heat wave. And so I chucked out. I'm not kidding. My car is fucking full.
Do you use a similar system to me, whereby the car just acts as like an extra storage space for stuff that needs to go to charity and also to the dump?
No.
Like I use my car is always full of stuff.
Okay.
Basically,
no, I don't do
because
that.
I accumulate stuff over a week, and then on the weekend,
and then you dump it.
I
Yeah.
like to go to the dump and then to the charity shop.
So I tend to use, that was the thing, is my office was that area.
Oh, right.
The things that we were like, we don't want to throw this away, but we don't know what to do with it. We'll put it in Ted's office. So it comes in here, and then, or it'll be like, we'll find somewhere else to hide it, or the shed, or just round the side of the house if it's big rubbish that we don't want. And then we'll be like, we'll do a tip trip, but you've got to book it. And going to the tip is not like a casual thing. It's like a big fucking production. And I hate fucking going there because whenever you're taking something, the lads that work there are sort of like border patrol guards where they want to know what's in that black bag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just rubbish. They're like, yeah, but which kind of rubbish? Because they don't want electronics mixed up with wood.
No.
Because they need to go. So I'm like, well, it's a bit of wood and a bit of electronics. They're like, I'm going to separate. So I'm like, fuck me. So couldn't smuggle the rubbish into the tip properly. So now I got to separate it out, which is fair enough. But the thing is, the amount of stuff I'm throwing out from here, I mean, my God, I had all the kids' like old artwork and school books and stuff from when they were in primary school. I thought, I can't throw that away. And now I'm like, this is getting fucking chucked. Like, I cannot hold on to this scratched out crayon drawing any longer. Because I've got 500 of them and it's taking up space. So I clear out so much stuff. I have the floor of my office is now clear, which it has not been in years. Like I can now walk around it. Managed to fit the air conditioner, got that in the office now. So when it gets hot, pop that on. Oh, it's great. It's like a breath of fresh air. And I realized that my office was like a reflection of my mind, that I was getting cluttered and lack of concern and care. So now I thought, let's have a clear out. We'll go back to managing things properly.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a general black bin you can just throw everything in?
Where?
In the dump.
Oh, yeah, no, but they will say what's in that. Like
my office is a true reflection of my mind as well. It's just full of dead prostitutes.
Oh my God.
Piled high.
That's a Norm Macdonald reference right there, I'm
pretty
sure.
Up to the rafters, yeah.
So do you have like boxes that you put stuff in and they fill up, or is it just like random shit on the floor?
Do you have any plastic
shelves,
Rubbermaid containers that you just put a lot of stuff in?
No. So what I've got in my office at the moment, I've got like 1, 2, 3.
Garage shelving.
Yeah, so the big garage shelving, because I knew I had a lot of comics and crap that I wanted to keep. So this shelving is big. It's 4 shelves, and each shelf is full. So I've got like so many books and comics and games, and mainly books and comics and games, in all honesty. But I just had like stuff like I had loads of bolt action armies that I hadn't used because I think Warlord sent a bunch to us after we did some of the bolt action bids. So I've got like 2 British Army starter packs. And I'm like, well, I'm never going to make those, but I'm never going to chuck them out. So I might bring them down, actually, when I come down next week, Lulu.
Yeah, Alex is going to do a boot sale for old stuff.
Just like, it sounds like he's in the other room. Like he's so far away.
Sorry, I'm looking away. Yeah,
there's the local game store, Big, are doing a boot sale, and Alex is taking a bunch of our stuff to it, and then we're going to just give the money we get to charity.
Yeah, great. So. I'll put them aside now. I can bring these down. Because, I mean, they're literally... It's the... Do you remember the Dad's Army one that we did?
Yeah.
So I've got that set, which I don't know how I got it, but they sent it to me. We've already got it. The Paratrooper's already got that. And then the 2 starter packs, one of them is open because I just want to see what was in it. But essentially, that's 4... That can go straight away to charity. So we'll pop that there.
Yeah, that's like 50 quid.
Yeah, right 50. There. I have a copy of Secret Hitler that I've never played because I did the Kickstarter.
Right.
And my family are not into it because it's got the word Hitler in it.
I guess it's difficult to give to a charity shop as well if it's got the word
Secret
Hitler in it.
Yeah, it literally says Hitler. So, but I do have a couple of games that I haven't used. I'll fucking bring these down as well.
We have a giveaway shelf in the office, which I decided was a good idea a few years ago, and stuff gets recycled through that, like puzzles and books people have read and other junk, T-shirts and things people want.
Shit. Fuck. Oh, I landed right on my foot. Son of a bitch. This is why you should never tidy up. It's dangerous.
So, I'm thinking of being more trying to be zero waste. Apparently, like it's very hard. It's very, very hard.
Yeah.
To like follow the zero, like no single use plastics.
Right.
We try not to use plastic much, but it's hard nowadays.
But like it's actually when you start trying to not use any single use plastics, you very quickly start to realize how many you use.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, like I can't do without this tofu that I like, or this thing that I like.
Yeah.
And you realize that's all in plastic and you're like, oh my God.
A lot of
the
packaging and stuff now seems to be all paper. Like
a lot of it, yeah.
I got a shaver the other day for my face, a face shaver, like an electric one, and all the packaging was paper. Every last bit of packaging was some kind of paper, but not like
this is a positive direction.
It wasn't just like a paper bag paper, it was like that sleek, nice, like packaging, cardboardy paper stuff.
I mean, the stuff itself is still all made of plastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then everything's still...
Yeah, but that's shaver. I'll have that for probably a decade now.
Yeah, at least the packaging.
The thing is, let's say you buy, you guys wouldn't, a couple of tofu Kievs, all right? I'll put it in vegetarian terms. Or
delicious tofu Kievs.
A couple of delicious tofu Kievs.
Right.
Even if the bulk of the packaging is recyclable cardboard, there'll be a plastic lining to that, and then it'll have a plastic top because you've got to see what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
So that is like single use. That's going in the bin. They can't recycle a floppy bit of clear plastic, I'm pretty sure. Maybe they can. We put it in the recycling. I'm sure it just ends up in landfill, but it's just like plastic is too useful at what it does. It's waterproof, it's long lasting. You can make it transparent. It's insane. Why did it have to be bad?
Why did it have to be bad?
Why couldn't it have been this miracle just for once? Give us a fucking product that actually does it all and isn't a shit for the environment or for human health. It doesn't exist. It's the more utility something has, the worse it is for you. It's terrible. Just like all the cool stuff, alcohol, drugs, unprotected sex, they're all really bad for you and dangerous.
Imagine you could just
things to do.
Imagine like after you finish drinking your water, you could just eat the bottle, the plastic bottle, but like it was good for you. Yeah, just eat it. Kind of like the soup in a bread bowl. You just eat the bowl when you're done.
Right.
But with a plastic bottle, it's not bad plastic. It's like healthy plastic that you can eat.
Get on with that, scientist.
And I'd imagine that like you take a bite and it would like melt in your mouth, like cotton candy or something.
right?
And taste like cotton candy as well.
You can put soup in a bread bowl. Why can't we make bread bottles and carry them around all day? Answer me that, science.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like the main issue with plastic is how cheap it is.
Yeah,
right? Like,
but you know what would be like a really easy way to be waste free or to cut down on your plastic is if they didn't use plastic for packaging anymore. It's like everything you buy has it, so like it's not really up to you to avoid it. Like it's up to them to stop using it. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
I think, but it's cheap. Again, the world relies on the world works and turns on the cost, and until people step in and actually give a shit, it's going to still just be following the worst possible trajectory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of times you can reuse just a plastic water bottle, but the amount of times they are not reused is, much higher. Fascinating stuff. I've got a friend who lives on lives sort of near a farm, and they rent out this field to campers, right?
Right.
And I was talking to them about some of the...
Is it just like, does it look like a sea of plastic after every camp is done? They leave and they just leave all their plastic waste all over the place?
I think people are pretty bad about it, generally, yes. And people are as you'd expect. Like, here's a few things. I wrote down a few of the things they told me. So one woman brought her dog,
right,
and was dismayed to find that there were other dogs on the campsite as well,
right.
What's wrong
as
with
her
that?
dot didn't get on with the other dogs.
Well, then maybe your dog is the problem, love.
So she left a review saying, "It's a shame this place is not dog friendly."
Wow.
Well, I guess what she meant was, it's a shame that the other dogs were not friendly with my dog.
Yeah, it's a shame it's a shame that this place didn't specifically cater to me and only me.
Take it up with the dog manager. Come and make a meeting with him. You have to bring a treat, of course. Sit down. You state your complaints.
It's a shame. I've just realized that
yawns.
The universe doesn't revolve around me.
Dear universe, I'd like to make a complaint about the universe, please. When are you going to start revolving around me?
Can we
for
please
a change?
have some more focus on just me?
Oh my God. Okay, I've got some more if you like that. If you like where that came from.
Love a review.
There was an email from a potential visitor who said they had quite a large group, so they wanted to get their own field. Yes, can you guess how many they thought a large group was?
4 people.
4 people, correct. Yeah. So, sure. Go on, you can have your entire own field to yourself.
Well, maybe they only know
group.
4 people. To them, that's 100%
If you spend the vast majority
know.
of your life alone, then 4 people is a lot of people at a certain point, I suppose.
If you're on a life raft made for 1, 4 people is an awful lot of people.
Yes. Gosh, yeah.
So one person said that they knew that there were animals in neighboring fields. And they said, I'm terrified of animals, so could you maybe do something with them during my stay? Like send them away for a few days.
These are city folk. These are all filthy, disgusting city folk.
Would you like me to slay all animals ahead? Or would you like me to do it in front of you when you get here? I'll slit all of their throats right in front of you. That's
a
something.
couple of campers are just weird. So one of them was walking around. Apparently there was a man walking around the campsite saying he was the owner, the farmer who owned the field.
Right.
And asking people how their stay was going.
Really?
And it's just a random guy. The farmer's actually not that person.
Right.
And then another group.
And what kind of info did he get from people? Like, what was the feedback?
Okay. Well, I just think it was just weird.
But they didn't know any better. They must have. So what, did they have a moment where they were like leaving? They're like, bye, thanks for everything. But the real owner was there like, yeah, no problem. Like what, did they have a realization that they'd been had by this guy? Or did they just leave thinking that was the owner? What a nice guy checking up on us and stuff. None of my feedback has been actioned on, though. Just
then next. So there was a person who arrived, and they went to the loo, and there was a poo in it. So they left a negative comment and demanded a refund.
Well, this is an outsource. Like this is like a.
It's like an outside loo,
like a for hire toilet, like a plastic outdoor one.
They just found a poo in the loo, and they
like in the toilet, like where the poo's meant to be, or like.
I assume so. Yeah, that's where they. Well, I don't think it was on the ceiling.
No, hang on.
What?
If you guys had a visitor to your house and you found someone else's poo in the toilet, come on now, you guys would complain. Historically, we know that to be the case.
This is true.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had many people in my house recently for work, but guess what? I hired one of those plastic toilets, and I never looked in it once. So if there's a poo in there,
why would you look?
It's not on me.
Who's
what are you
been
talking
using
about?
This toilet?
Yeah,
you hired a Portaloo.
That's quite common.
To put outside your house, so that the workman didn't have to use the poo in the loo inside your house.
I absolutely did, yeah, and I feel I can sense a judging tone.
No,
I feel no shame about this.
Lulu, you shouldn't judge me.
Absolutely no shame about this.
If you have a big project going on and you have like 6 to 8 lads working,
your toilet's getting decimated every single day.
It really is. And I'm not kidding. They come in, they're absolutely filthy.
Have you seen what those guys eat?
It's bad. Yeah.
Go into any greasy spoon and watch what they eat and tell me that you'd have them shitting and peeing in your toilet on the regular all day, every day. Many men.
I think it's perfectly reasonable. It's not that expensive to hire a porter.
It really isn't.
It's just good to know.
It's £100 a month.
They £100 a month.
That's nothing.
It's nothing, and they come every week and clean it too.
Well, why do I even bother having a real loo?
Well, there you go.
If I could just hire a Portaloo and use that instead, I'd never have to clean my bathroom.
Knowledge is power, baby. Arm yourself.
You don't clean your bathroom.
I don't clean my bathroom.
Yeah.
So the final one is that one day the farmer found a group of campers in the pig pen. Okay. And
were they fucking?
No, I don't know what they were doing in there. But when challenged, they said, well, it wasn't a sign saying we couldn't go in here.
Right.
It's like
it's a free country. I can do what I like that sort of thing.
You know how we've sort of talked about this idea of signs being unnecessary signs all over the place, telling you stuff. This is why. It's because people are so used to the idea.
Like this goes back to the mind the gap discussion that we had recently. Mind the gap.
It's like if you don't put the mind the gap or don't have the mind the gap thing, people will fall down and say, well, it didn't tell me to mind the gap. It didn't tell me that I was going to fall down the hole.
Yeah.
They're just, if that's the eternal excuse, isn't it? So,
and you wonder why there are signs
that.
fucking everywhere explaining everything.
I don't mind that there's signs everywhere.
Really?
Honestly, it doesn't bug me.
What if you had to have signs in your house that the government installed on the front door said, be careful, you're about to leave your property, like on the inside, just in case people get confused between inside and outside? Would you draw the line at that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Realistically.
What if it was literally outside your property line? So just as you leave your gate or whatever, there's a big sign saying you are now leaving your property. Be careful. Look left and right. Make sure you have your keys. Be cautious. Mind the gap.
I would welcome that, actually. The amount of times I've left my house without my keys or without my underpants on or whatever, like a little helpful checklist at the end of my my very, very long winding driveway would be really good. It would save me a lot of time and a lot of grief as well. You get to the end of that and it's like just a checklist. Do you have your boarding pass? Do you have your passport? Man. Do you have your keys? Do you know where your kids are? Did you remember to leave your bot farm on? Is your Bitcoin farm still running? All these things that I, sometimes forget about before I leave my house. I wouldn't mind that. Honestly, it wouldn't bother me too much. If it was like on my front door, I'd probably be like, this is a bit much. But if it was just like just outside my property or whatever, I probably would never notice it. I wouldn't really notice a sign.
So can I just say one thing that happened to me this week?
Listen, Lulu, you don't need to ask permission.
Yeah, just
I know it's
into
not
it.
positive.
Just ignore us.
I watched this video about how there's this idea in AI. Okay,
right.
And sorry if everyone's groaning right now. There's this terrible idea in AI about how the super intelligence is coming, and I'm sure you've seen things about it. And there was this team of high-level AI people who sort of developed this sort of vision of the future, if you like. And it's kind of like a story-based thing of what's going to happen potentially over the next few years as AIs develop and become more intelligent. And basically what it leads to is a pretty terrifying dystopian situation where in the next 5 or 10 years, AI gets smart enough that it can replace basically all the shitty jobs that all the admin jobs, all the
do you know what all this
a lot of computer based jobs.
The AI stuff reeks of remember just as the internet was like sort of being rolled out to the masses, if you like. You remember all those pictures that they had of like a young kid wearing a VR helmet on a skateboard on like the information superhighway? Like they hyped it all up and they said it's going to do this, it's going to do that, and then very quickly everybody just found porn and started making memes, and that's been
we're
it
actively
since
making
basically the
ourselves
90s.
stupider.
While
AI is like taking over. I guess like the whole point is that of this whole thing is that basically you in future will be able to like hire an AI to do accounting, to do Photoshop, to do video editing, to do everything basically, and everyone will be out of a job, and it'll be this disastrous situation, right? Where unless we actively change up society, and there's a couple of scenarios that they paint in this article. It's called like, I don't know, Vision 2027 or some shit. But the idea is that on the one hand, you get this sort of AI arms race between the US and China, where they both sort of start making these competing AIs in order to hack each other and do all this sort of evil stuff that governments have always done since the dawn of time. Yeah. And then the other sort of idea is that governments get sick of it and sort of take control and try and make this AI that's kind of the safe AI almost. They're strange visions of the future, but they're both quite terrifying. Right. Anyway, I was using the new version of ChatGPT 5 because I was like, oh, there's a new ChatGPT 5 just came out like yesterday or whatever. Right. And I'm like, okay, I've got this spreadsheet I've been making, okay?
Right.
That I was like, oh, I've got loads of stuff to fill in this spreadsheet, okay? Like loads of information to fill in, loads of complicated stuff to fill in. And I was like, oh, why don't I just give the AI a copy of it and it can fill in the gaps, okay? So I gave it like 5 lines of information. I was like, do it like this, make some more for me, okay? And it did it so badly and so ineptly that I ended up going back and forth with it loads, saying, why have you done this? Do you think, like, I was like, it was telling me things like a wooden table was made of metal plates.
You're telling it off.
I was like, do you think this is correct. And it's like, oh, no, sorry. And it was like fully, I think they called it sycophantic or whatever, right? It was fully kind of apologizing and saying, I'll do that better. And it never did. And then eventually we went back and forth over like half an hour until I was like running out of credits or whatever, because you only get like 20 free credits every 5 hours or God knows what it is.
Right.
And I felt like, first of all, I felt like it was dragging me out, almost like it was deliberately
wasting your time.
Wasting my time. So,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, are you sure you want me to do this? Oh, what if I've got a little question? And eventually I was like, just do it. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean? And then finally, when I was like frustrated with it, I just said, please just do this as I've asked you to do. And it made me this like CSV file that was so wrong. I said, this is completely wrong. What's wrong with you? Can you do it again? And it was like, oh, sure, I fixed it. And then it posted, I shit you not, it decided that instead of sending me a new CSV file, because it said, would you like me to redo the CSV file? I said, yes. Okay. And it generated a picture instead of a spreadsheet. But all of the words were nonsense, right? Because it doesn't understand words. And I was like, you asked me if you wanted, you've made a CSV file for me before, like twice or something. And I asked you, and you asked me a question, would you like a CSV file? I said yes, and you gave me a picture of a spreadsheet full of garbled information. And I'm like, this is the new one?
I can't honestly think of a single thing that I would want AI to do for me. That is like that I can't either already do by myself or a person can simply do, and I would prefer to just actually speak to a person and do it very quickly and not be like bogged down. Like I can't think of one single thing that I would ever use AI for.
So this is it. I've just
because all the practical stuff they can't do. Like they can't like drive the car for me and drop people off or run errands for me or not. They can't yet. Like it's not going to do that for me today.
That's the point. Is I think that we're kind of as a sort of we all use the internet. We read about this stuff and technology and stuff. I actually do think we're kind of sleepwalking towards something quite sinister, because although when we use all these LLMs and ChatGPT is of course the most famous one of those, and all of this AI and Grok and shit, we're laughing now about how crap it is. But they're training AI to write the next level of AI. And AI is very, very good at not interacting with people, but at coding, really good at coding. And I'm pretty sure that once it starts being able to write its successor, and the successor is then better than the version that wrote it, you then have this runaway sort of cascade effect where it becomes much more powerful, much more quickly than we're prepared for. So if you can imagine, if we went back in time and looked at very early versions of the primates that we are now, we'd be like, this guy doesn't even have opposable thumbs. He doesn't know how rocks work. He's still just eating, rotten bananas off the floor of the jungle, and he's pathetic. But before you know it, you've got something that's like 1,000 Einsteins. So I think a lot of the time we write off AI because we're only seeing the sort of customer-facing end of it.
Right.
But I'm genuinely quite concerned about what's happening behind the scenes. And I for a while, I thought that all this money going into AI was just the latest .com fad, and it was just a bubble. I think a lot of these guys are starting to see things that they think, if we're not in control of this, we're fucked. And the only countries that are really doing it are America and China.
Yeah.
So when it does happen, the rest of the world is in genuinely big trouble. And I think that we're going to see the balance of power at the moment, although, yes, the US and China are two of the biggest economies in the world, and a lot of what they do shapes how the rest of us live. Once an AI, a proper AI, not a fucking large language model, but an actually intelligent computer, a singularity exists, we ain't going to have it in the UK. We're not going to have it in Europe. There's only two places it's going to exist: West Coast America and China. And
but they're going to sell it to us, and it's going to do all of our jobs because it'll be cheaper.
They're not going to sell it to us.
Oh,
it's going to be a service model. So it's going to be like live service AI, which is going to be very expensive. And who runs this thing? I mean, are we just assuming that once they've achieved this state of nirvana with this perfect AI, that it's going to be benevolent? What if it's just entirely biased and very nationalistic, which it may well be? The Americans made it, so it owes them, or the Chinese made it, so it owes them. What does it give a fuck about what happens in Europe? This is a problem. This is a genuine problem. And there's no oversight and no control whatsoever. So I am quite concerned about where it's going to lead. I realize that's doom mongering and apocalyptic, and you can write it off as sci-fi, but I try to think about that kind of stuff, and obviously I do like to think of it from a sort of science fiction angle. I think it doesn't lead anywhere good ever.
Yeah,
so
probably
I'm
not.
very anti-AI.
I don't know though. But
not because I think it's shit. Not because I think it's shit. I think it is now. It's laughable. But that to me is like, if you looked at the Wright brothers plane, the Wright brothers plane was dog shit. But it's like less than 60 years after that thing flew or whatever, around that time, we were on the moon. So the acceleration of technology from inception to what it could end up as is so far beyond your imagination at the point that it initially comes about that it's dangerous to ignore what it could be, in my opinion.
Well, you're right. I think it's actually, yes, we're laughing at it now. And I'm asking it, I just asked it like, what the fuck? Did you
just ask ChatGPT, what the fuck?
I said, what the fuck? This is a picture of a spreadsheet, not a CSV. How did you end up generating a picture instead? And it said, oh, sorry, that was my fault. When I tried to output the table, the system rendered it as an image preview. It's a quirk of how the interface... It's just lying to me. It says it was literally a screenshot of a table dump. And I'm like, well, it's not, is it though? Because if you look at the link I've sent you guys, the words are just... the letters are just nonsense words, right? Aludsud and that one looks like it's Icelandic. It's like... How was it... You made me a spreadsheet without Icelandic in it and took a screenshot and then blurred it a load? Like, what? Do you see what I mean? It's just bad. It's lying. It's trying to cover its tracks. It's going to take over. It's frightening. Anyway, AI is frightening and terrifying. And let's move on because, oh my God, I don't want to think about it anymore.
So I got that book. What is it? Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm about 100 pages in and I'm not enjoying it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's very badly written.
Is it a real? Well,
you are an author.
Miserable slog to get through.
No, it's just silly. It feels very teenagey, and honestly, the amount of swearing. As someone who swears a lot, I understand why that sounds silly for me to say. I curse a lot. Mrs. F has to tell me to please stop cursing. It's just the way
I'm the same. I curse a lot, but I don't like hearing other people cursing. It depends.
I know. It's really hypocritical.
It's really tone and accent for me. Like some people can just weave in cursing to everyday conversation and I don't notice it or mind it at all. And then other people, it sounds so out of place and it bugs me. You know, like I can.
It's just imagine if every
it's like
single
nails
sentence...
on a chalkboard. Like if somebody isn't swearing properly, you know, like it grates on me.
Yeah, I think it's because he uses swear words instead of a better word. So to me, it's just lazy. And he over describes things. Like I'm looking at the thickness of this book. It's actually quite thick for what is a throwaway idea. It's 450 pages, this book. Now, I've read the first 100 pages and I get it. Like I get where we're going and what's happening and all the rest of it. The sense of humor is very puerile, like extremely puerile. I would say it's on a par
with this.
It's like a slightly yeah. It's not as detailed as say the Triforce podcast, of course. But we're not writing this and carefully going back over it. We're just talking. Like this is just the way people talk.
We are not.
We're not. We are definitely not. Edit that, please, editors. No, I'm kidding. So it's just, why use a swear word when you could actually use a better word? And he'll just use arsehole or fuck or shit or piss or bastard or something. And you think that's lazy. And he over describes things. I'm see if I can find an example. Oh yeah, this cat called Donut, Mrs. Donut or Donut Princess Donut or something. That just felt really unfunny to me that he has this cat. I don't think that's funny. Like I get it. It's like, he's wearing a leather jacket and ladies' shoes at the start of the apocalypse. Ha. But I just don't think that's interesting. And just to curse as often as he does, just curse. Fuck, shit, asshole, damn, fuck. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, it almost feels like someone trying to impress you with the fact that they're swearing. And also, my God, the tropes, like the overused tropes. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, yes, I've seen that in a video game. Haha, yes, that's exactly the way it is when I play a video game. Do you know what this reminds me of? Ready Player One, which was the, hey, do you remember so-and-so? Ha. Yeah, I get it. Like, I get the reference. I don't need 450 pages of that fucking reference. Anyway, that's my opinion. I will try and finish it for you, Lulu, but I'm seriously struggling with this guy's writing style. Apologies, Matt Dinnerman.
That's really interesting. Well, I didn't actually read the physical book. I listened to the audiobook, which
That would be even worse.
Which is honestly really, really good.
Stephen Fry? Is it Stephen Fry?
What do you mean? I'm not going to listen to Stephen Fry. I don't think he's all that.
You don't like
no, I was just
Fry?
implying that he narrated the audiobook because it wouldn't suit him at all. That was all I was saying.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I don't even remember Ready Player One. I saw it, but that's the one where they're like they got the VR headsets and they're on the treadmills in there. They live in like trailers, right? But they, but exactly. they everything is like in the virtual world.
Yeah. They've got sort of video game world that they all live in and interact in. It's all very MMO and video game inspired. It's like a big VR game, and it's definitely set in like a future dystopia, right? It's prescient in a sense. It feels prescient, but the world is likely to be very different from the way anyone's really visualized it. As much as sci-fi writers have a go at guessing, there's the world that we live in now is not the same at all as people expected it would be 50 years ago.
No,
for sure. And changes have been so rapid.
No,
and even today, it's so weird to think of the stuff being made by AI. No one gave us the heads up on this stuff at all. No sci-fi writers who were any kind of, or maybe there are. Maybe there are some of them who were bang on. Let us know.
The old Star Trek stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that inspired, like flip phones and what are some of the other, like the little. They had those little clam opening communication devices, and people think that like the first Motorola cell phones were based on that, and there's a bunch of other stuff too. But there's like Star Trek, and then there's all the early NASA technology for getting people into space and doing the moon landings and stuff. A lot of that stuff sort of crept back into the consumer market eventually as well. But I agree. I don't think anybody really saw like AI, but maybe they did. Like Skynet is kind of like AI from the Terminator universe, but that controls like robots and stuff. So maybe people have been on it. Maybe people do realize that there's like some.
I think also sci-fi has to, in order to be popular, it has to be relatable to the people of the time that it was made. You can't have a book that people can't ever, who read it when it comes out, can't understand it because it paints this very strange vision. Then again, sometimes they do, like Brave New World paints a very different, a very alien vision of the future.
Yeah,
and other things too. And that's why they're kind of fascinating, because they explore how society has changed in the wake of new technology but things like that are more mainstream, like Star Trek, there's a lot of familiar stuff. There's a lot of stuff borrowed from the times that can be, that people can put themselves in the situation more. It doesn't feel, and as a result, you do end up with quite anachronistic things happening. Where the computers in some of the original Star Treks are worse than the computers we have now. Type thing.
Computer,
yes, slide the doors open for me. I'm trying to get to the bridge.
Oh, 1 second. Sliding doors. Doors open. Thanks, computer.
Computer, it's made the psh noise, but the door hasn't moved.
Oh, is it like the AI where it lies about what it's done?
Yeah.
The computer just goes. Psh. No, computer, that's just you going. Psh, you're not opening the door.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I'm terribly sorry. There's been an error. The door was open, but you didn't see it.
You didn't see it open, and
it
now
was
it's
open for a
closed
split
again.
second.
Yeah.
Would you like me to open the door now? It's like, yes. Are you sure you'd like me to open the door now? Yes. Your door credits have expired. Please subscribe to Door Plus.
This is all. A lot of this stuff is very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well, because it is so ridiculous. A lot of it's so ridiculous.
Door Plus is when it also closes the door. So if you don't have Door Plus, your house is just going to get burgled. You should upgrade to Door Plus today.
An extra fee.
Big thanks to our sponsors, Door Plus today.
And Door Plus Pro.
And Door Plus Pro. Keep it secret, keep it safe with Door Plus. Pro.
And Portaloo, which is our other sponsor for today.
I can't recommend it enough, Lewis. If you're, Lewis, one day when you're a homeowner and you decide to have some renovations done on your home, Mark these words, okay? Get
Mark 'em.
Get
Write
an
it down.
outside portable toilet for any workmen that come over. Do you know what?
Yeah.
They'll thank you for it as well. They love them.
Yeah,
They-
they'll love it.
they love them.
They love them. They're drawn to them. In fact, once you put one down, other workmen just turn
I
up.
think
and
it
start doing the
activates
work.
their bladders because I think they normally go to a site and they're like, I got to hold it in all day. I'm going to have to hold it in all day, or at least I got to hold it in until lunchtime or whatever. And then they see one of those toilets and they're like, oh shit, baby, I can just let it loose.
They end up peeing in plastic bottles and just leaving the plastic bottles around the corner. That's
worse.
what happens several
that is
times.
worse, yeah. And then some of them accidentally drink it as well, thinking there's free apple juice. Wow. God, I
just
found
here
a
on the street.
free bottle of apple juice on the street. Oh God, I'm so thirsty as well.
You know what? One time when my kids were quite little, they didn't drink piss. I just want to jump in and announce that first of all.
They didn't drink piss.
Didn't. We were walking to school, and there was someone had left a bottle of wine. It wasn't wine. They'd obviously drunk a bottle of white wine and then peed it back into the bottle.
Right.
Sure. And they'd left it there. And my daughter was like, "Oh, it's a free bottle of wine, Dad." I was like, "Don't be ridiculous, love. Someone's peed in that." And her face, she was like, "What?" Well, she couldn't believe it.
I know.
There are
those moments where you're teaching your kids like, that
people are revolting.
Yeah,
sorry, girls.
Yeah, the rest of the world is not a safe bubble like our house is.
This is totally. I was on the walk the other day with some friends, and they were like, there was some of those, just brambles with wild blackberries on them, and I was and I was with some kids, and I was like, sure, you can pick them, but obviously only from above like waist high, right? Because there's no way like any of the wild blackberries from below waist high have not been pissed on by something, right? A dog or a rat. Or something.
Rat.
Yeah. Or a rat. Well, a rat's got to piss.
Yeah, but I don't think they don't cock a leg like a dog and like pee up in an arc.
I think they probably do.
A big dog, I don't think.
I think a lot of animals do. If they don't, you're just gonna get you got to do it, because if you just like go into like a push-up pose and piss right onto the ground, it's going to spray all over you. You got to do the lift.
I'm pretty
and
sure
piss
that
sideways. The piss needs to be far away from you.
No. I don't think so. I mean, I think mice and rats and those little rodents, I think they're basically incontinent and they just go all the time. Because they don't have an area where they go. They just
You think it just squirts out the back? Have you ever seen a seagull? Like it just squirts out. Yeah. It's
disgusting.
It's really gross. Yeah. We got a baby seagull that is like haunting our neighborhood because
it's a ghost?
No. But he was born probably on my roof, or close by. They roost around here, and they, like just before the summer, they have their babies. The babies at first can't fly, so they walk around and constantly make noise to get their parents to bring food back for them.
Those baby seagulls, there's a lot of them in Bristol at the moment, and they're so loud.
They are so annoying too. He's just constantly pacing around in our backyard and stuff, and like you just think, man, go out to the sea or wherever it is that you need to be, like, but not here. Don't just like. And he shits everywhere. There's fucking shit all over the place. The deck is covered in shit.
Good for your
the fence is covered in shit, and like my roof is covered in shit. There's shit everywhere. They're up there shitting. It's like a fiesta. It's like they're shitting all the time.
Fiesta.
Yeah,
that's like your roof,
but they're protected.
Flex with all the pigeon
you
shit.
Can't because one year we had one and he was stuck in the backyard. He couldn't fly, and it was it had been dry. It was really hot. So I phoned the animal shelter and I said, can you guys come out and get him? Because he'd probably die. Like there's nothing for him here, and he's stuck. He can't fly. And they're like, no, we can't. We're not allowed to touch seagulls. They're protected.
Not.
Okay, well, this one's going to fucking die. So you're not really protecting him that well. But
seagulls aren't protected.
Apparently they are over here. Yeah, they're like.
I don't think you're allowed to like just capture them and break their necks and eat them.
Probably. Well, I think
that's just general. Don't be a dick.
I wasn't saying that they should do that. Though. Wait, I was just saying, just remove
seagulls are protected.
Put it in my neighbor's yard instead or something. I don't know. I don't care. Just get it.
I think you get old men buying BB guns to shoot them, and then they get wounded and injured.
I would never do that.
But I think people do that, and certainly there's a generation above ours, who survived World War II. God bless them. And good.
Who did?
Although then again,
I got one for you. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. I was just thinking. Okay, what if
What?
you were like a true crime enthusiast? Okay, you don't have to be, but let's just say for this example, you are. And
My sister,
okay.
in
and
other
you
words,
love
yeah.
you love the idea of
Many people, me too.
of committing a crime and then getting arrested, right? So the cops
Oh.
and you think like, oh, this is so cool, I'll get arrested.
You hear about this, like an old woman did this because she wanted to get. She had it on her bucket list.
She wanted to get arrested. But the thing is, because you'd be happy about getting arrested, the one thing you'd want to do is maybe put your arms up in the air and cheer, like, hooray, I've been arrested. But you can't because you got the cuffs on. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to turn up and they're going to cuff you right away. So you're not going to get your moment. You're not going to be able to celebrate. Or maybe you could just have
they'll
like
say hands up. And you
Hands
can
up.
cheer.
you
Say
do that.
hands
That's
up.
a good point. Put your hands in the air and
you
wave
need a
them
gun.
like you
So what
just
you need
don't
to do,
care.
you
Whoa!
got to go get a gun, and then they'll say, "Put your hands up," because that way you get to put your hands up.
What the hell?
Oh man!
Do they say hands up or do they say hands down?
They say
don't
They
know.
think they. What do they
put
say?
your hands in the
I
air.
mean,
these days? I'm sure. It's
Drop the
it's
weapon.
different.
But I'm always like, if I drop, I would be tempted to say, "Officer, I will drop it," but if it goes off, that's on gravity.
Sometimes
I
they
clearly didn't do
scream
that.
hands behind your back. I tell you
I like
what,
the
if somebody
negotiation.
screamed at me in that tone and said, "Put your hands behind your back," they would be behind my back immediately. Like, I don't know what the hesitation is sometimes with these people. You know, like
Criminals.
they're hesitating, and then like the taser's coming out and everything. You just think, man, just put your hands behind your back, like he said. What are you waiting for? Like, Jesus.
It's that fight or flight response, isn't it?
maybe.
For some people,
They're just so stunned that they've been apprehended.
yeah. And they just like, they almost, their brain doesn't compute that they're dealing with the police and that they're in a dangerous situation.
Man.
And I mean, I think it's underappreciated just what effect having a gun pointed at you does to the human brain. That the idea that you should just act rationally and just do what they say. It's impossible to put yourself in that position because you can tell yourself that you would. A lot of the time, people's functional brain just shuts down.
Man, if somebody's pointing a gun at my head, I'm like fucking Christopher Walken
You'd
on
like
the
to
Deer
think
Hunter.
that, of course.
I'm looking like my pants are full of shit. And I'm hemorrhaging in the brain at the same time. Like, it's like he's got that. I know he's not meant to be scared because he's kind of like, you know, he's had all the humanity in life stripped out of him at that point. But he does kind of look. He looks bad though, right? He looks a bit scared in the scene from the Deer Hunter.
Which scene?
You know,
are you talking about
when they're doing Russian
so
roulette?
There's two. Yeah, but there's two. There's the one where he's playing it when they're captives in Vietnam, and then there's the one where Robert De Niro goes back to try and find him because he's still playing Russian roulette.
He's still
'cause
playing
his brain is fucked. Which one?
The one when they're captured.
Yeah, in that one he's terrified. Yeah, that's a great scene.
Oh, it's an incredible scene. Yeah.
Did he mow? Did he mow?
Yeah.
Slap at him. Did he mow? Mow!
Fucking crazy.
Before we continue, going online without ExpressVPN is like walking your dog in public without a leash. Most of the time, you'll probably be fine, but what if one day your dog wanders too far and gets dog-napped by someone? Well, to prevent that, you can use ExpressVPN. Every time you connect to an unencrypted network, your online data is not secure. Hackers can gain access to it, and it doesn't take much technical knowledge to do so. But it would take 1 billion years for a hacker with a supercomputer to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. It is easy to use, it works on all devices, and I recommend you check it out. I use it at home, I use it pretty much every day. It's just running in the background. I often don't even notice it's on because it's basically as fast as the internet. It doesn't like slow it down or anything. You can use it on the go when you're on trip or in a public space. Why not protect yourself? So secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/Triforce. That's expressvpn.com/Triforce to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months for free. expressvpn.com/Triforce. On with the show. Would you like to hear some...
I'd like to hear Pyrion do some more
news.
Mao, actually.
Did he mow?
Let's have 5 solid minutes of Pyrion doing Mao from Deer
I
Hunter.
tell you what, well, we didn't finish your Japan chat, really, did we? Do you remember?
No, I guess we didn't actually.
Was there any more things from that?
Yeah, there was
He had
more.
a whole list of things.
Just let's keep going through
we did a
that.
whole episode on it. Are you sure you want to do more? I don't know if people.
I just
still
want a little
it.
bit. I just want a little snippet of.
Just give them a little taste.
All right, let me see.
Because I can't remember what we got up to, but we had to stop because I had to go somewhere, and I felt like I could have handled more.
I got as far as our trip to Nara, where I got bitten by a deer.
Yes, where you got bit. Where it turns out the deers were awful. And I'm sorry I cut you off on that bit, but I wanted to say like. That is one of these incredibly touristy, dream camera-y, Instagram-y, like beautiful princessy moments, right? Where everyone dresses up and they're like the deers and it's so beautiful and it's everything. It did feel genuinely dodgy and fake, and I'm glad that's what it was like.
It was bullshit.
I'm glad you had a bad time.
Yeah, no, we went there and I was like, it was kind of like a wake-up call for my youngest who had seen pictures, and I have a video, I forgot about this, I was looking at the pictures the other day. We get there, she tends to say things without thinking because she's like me. Like me and her are like the same person. So she just says shit. And it's taken me a very long time to try to rein in my instinct to just not let my brain have immediate access to my mouth all the time. It's a daily struggle, and I often fail at it. We get to Nara, we get off the bus, and she sees so many deer, and she says, "Is that a deer?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, you're so glad I was filming that. And my eldest is just ripping her apart. She's just laughing because she realizes what she's done. But it's just like, love, you were the one who was showing us the pictures. Look at the lovely deer. We're going to see the deer in Nara. We get there. There's a deer like 2 feet away. She's like, is that a deer? I said, what? Like, that's what your brain is thinking. And then the other bit of your brain goes, yes, of course that's a deer. And you never say it. You never say that. Now everybody knows it. And I do that all the time. So it was funny.
God, we all do.
So bad. I passed that down to. I feel so bad.
I think again though that's almost like that's not so bad. I mean, it's not as bad as the lemonade thing. Free wine on the side of the road.
Yeah,
free lemonade.
It's just funny. But it's like at another point where we were at this lake, and it was like it had loads of lilies in it. It's in Taito City in Tokyo. It's beautiful. And we're going over a bridge, and you can hear water, you can see water, and you can see a lake with flowers on it. You can still see it's a lake. And she says, is that water? And I was like, yes, of course it's water. What do you look at it? It's water. It's like, I think she got into her head that because we were in Japan, everything was different. Do the laws of physics still apply? Is a deer still a deer? Is water still liquid on this world? You know, she was just talking and asking these questions. It became quite the meme. And of course, being very funny, she played up to it. She started asking, "Is that so and so?" questions, and with a wry smile, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
do you get that thing with your kids where they ask you a question about something that you know even just a bit about, and you explain it to them, but they just switch off almost immediately, like within 5 seconds of you speaking. They're like, oh, I did not want to know the answer to this actually at all. But you just 100%. You just keep going on and on and on explaining it all.
At that though as well. I the other day I asked my partner what she'd done today, and then I got a notification on my phone. So I picked my phone up. I didn't listen to anything she said, and I looked up at her and I was like, she was just staring at me like angrily.
Oh, it's bad.
And I was like, I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I know,
but
we all do
it happens to us, even if we try.
But yeah, it's funny.
Best.
But, so one of the things we noticed, and my kids really noticed it, and it started to get on our tits. Look, I don't want to upset any groups of people, all right, especially in the current climate.
Right.
But American tourists, have a fucking word with yourselves, please. Please. You are not in America. You're in a different country, and they do things differently there. You are the loudest, by far, the loudest, most noticeable, least camouflaged tourists that you could ever come across. Everybody knows when there's an American tourist around. You guys just have a voice that just cuts through everything. If you're ever at a pub and there's some Americans having fun, you'll know it because of all the wooing and the woo and woo every 5 seconds. Very loud people, and they seem to think that they're in Disneyland everywhere they go. So, for example, in Disneyland, I'm sure you can have it your way, but you are at a train station in a fairly sort of, suburban part of Tokyo. No, they can't give you that ticket. It doesn't matter how much you tell the guy that you need it. It doesn't matter how much you tell the guy he's got to make it happen. He can't do it. They've sold out. And you can keep telling him that you're an American and you need it, it's not going to happen. I think they have this unbelievable attitude of that they get to have it their way every single place they go, and they just can't. And their brains break because they're used to that American service.
Yes.
Of, oh, absolutely. Oh, sir, I'll see what I can do. Or just being able to berate someone and they just have been trained to suck it up. In Japan, if you go up and say, we need a ticket for the train tomorrow at this time that has extra baggage space because we have big bags, and the guy says, I'm sorry, it's sold out, you can't just stand there for 5 minutes berating the guy. You just can't do it. But I saw this couple doing it, and then every place we went, complaining about prices, trying to argue with people, trying to debate, and it was always Americans. I don't know what it is in their culture that they've been told you can just fucking bitch at people, and they'll be like, oh, secretly, yes, we can. We're just being dicks. But now that we know you're Americans, we'll give you what you want. It was just unbelievable. Once you noticed it once, you could not stop noticing it. And I realize, as a British man, we are some of the worst tourists in the world when it comes to
only in Spain,
absolutely shitting on places. That was what I was going to say, is that be honest with you, I didn't see the kind of tourists when you think of the nightmare English tourist abroad, the on the beach, the gammons,
it's
cooking.
a big red fat man with a fucking white hat on, and he's just like holding a pint,
drinking Stella, and wants English food every day in Spain. I get it. Like I understand that you will say how hypocritical it is, and how dare you, English tourists are some of the worst. I will be honest with you. I've traveled all over the world. The tourists that I see, the British tourists that I see outside of places like that in Spain, are just not like that. Like, all of those tourists go to that place, which is why the Spanish are so fucking sick of us going on a holiday in Spain, because we literally export this particular kind of tourist, the classic English tourist. And you go all over Europe, you'll see terrible German tourists, terrible Russian tourists, terrible English tourists. I get it. But I'm telling you, Americans, you are very loudly, consistently the most obnoxious and demanding tourists. Just following you is the Chinese tourists, who were terrible in Japan. Awful. Really, really, really bad.
Well, what kind of stuff were the Chinese doing in Japan?
First of all, I don't know. I guess Japan is a huge destination resort for them, a tourist destination for them, because it's very close, very different, and it's very cheap. So everywhere they go, having been to China, Chinese people don't do queuing. They don't do just jostling along in a crowd and everybody getting along the way you do. If you're in a busy area in the UK, you don't feel like you're fighting for air. The Chinese will just barge you out of the way. They will jump in front of you in the queue. They will push past you to see what you were looking at. They just don't give a fuck. And there's so many of them in such big groups that it was just like overwhelming. We went to the aquarium and it was like 80% Chinese tourists. And you literally could not get to the tanks to see. You'd get there to have a look, and someone would just literally step in front of you. Like, there's no room between you and where they've stepped. They've filled that gap in the most incredible way, where you just think, how is that even possible? How could you have any self-respect to just be like, well, I want to see it, so I'm just going to stand in a gap that you were breathing in that gap. Previously, that was your breathing gap. Now I'm in there. Now there's a Chinese tourist in there. So what is happening? But that's how they roll. And if you don't do that in China, you don't get. You literally, there is no, oh, you were clearly here first after you. They just don't roll that way. There's over 1 billion of them. You can't fuck about. If you want something, you better fucking get it. So it's tough as a tourist to deal with that as well. It's very, very different from the way British tourists are, I would say.
Yeah, it just depends. Again, with British tourists, it depends where you go. Like, they seem to be worse in like the kind of the traditional destinations, mostly Spain, parts of Spain.
Yeah, it's honestly, I've not seen tourists like that, like the classic English. I mean, you will get them. I'd say the other group is British stag do's.
Yeah,
which are like, if you go to somewhere like Tallinn, if you go to somewhere like Krakow, you go to somewhere like Prague. Just all these awful British lads who just think, I'm just going to get fucking battered every single. Portugal suffers the same as Spain with the drinking and the sun and all of that. And it's just like, they just want to go there and switch off their brains and get hammered and just make it Spain's problem or Portugal's problem. And you better give us fry-ups, and the pub better be called Irish pub or whatever. It's really unbearable. And I get it. But I don't see them, like you said, I don't see them in Munich. You know what I mean? When I went to Munich on holiday, it was beautiful.
Oh, Munich's lovely,
I hardly saw any English people there, which was great. When I went to some really nice parts of Italy didn't see those kind of tourists, whereas I feel like you do see the stereotypical American tourist everywhere, and they're all the same to me. The ones you notice, anyway.
Yeah.
Apologies, America.
Not really though. I completely get it. I've seen it as well, and it's crazy how I think it's just people doing something and not being called out and learning that they can get away with it, right?
Yeah. Do you think they get stressed out when they're in an unfamiliar environment as well?
I think everybody does.
It's like a stress reaction.
I think they've been misled their entire lives about, for example, I know lots of people who work in hospitality and stuff, and people that have emailed in about this, American tourists giving them dollars and expecting them to take it. That's here. That's in the UK.
Yeah.
Or they'll try and tip you and they'll want to give you American dollars. Like you're going to be like, oh, thank you. Finally, some currency that can purchase bread for my starving family. What are you doing? It doesn't work here. Now they just assume that there's some kind of diplomats for democracy and for civilization. The rest of us are just grubbing around like cavemen. Like, no. Your dollars are no good here, brother.
The other thing is that, like, I guess it's more of a, oh, well, I don't have any local currency, but I do want to tip. And so therefore, is this going to work? Like,
right.
And
but
I think,
wouldn't you, Lewis, if you went to another country, just do the tiniest bit of research using the Google platform that their country created and owns? Why don't they use that? It's free.
I think it's very easy, though. A lot of the things we do are very easy to justify to ourselves in a sensible way. And they're also very easy to frame in a negative way. You know, at least they were trying to tip and be nice, right?
No. I'm not having that.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
I get it. I mean, you can say it comes from a good place, but it's incredibly fucking patronizing. So the defense can't just be, oh, I was just trying to tip. The argument is it's not a tip. You've now given me a chore. And in fact, this is a pain in the ass. I've got $10 that I now have to go and get changed into what, £6 or whatever. And I'm going to charge commission on that. And it's just a pain in the neck. It's just ignorant. It's just willful ignorance. And this assumption, that's the thing. It feels like they're just assuming that the dollar is so powerful that here in Britain, why that goes 5 times as far as our local Mickey Mouse money.
There is a little bit of that, isn't there? I think
really
it's different from person to person. And I think there is, to some extent, I think sometimes you see it in Disney with a dad who is very desperate for his daughter to get to a thing or see a thing. And it does feel like they are panicked and stressed and they don't care, right? And you do see that too with some people who are in a hurry or they're late or they're like, they've got some, you know what it's like though, right? Like you've experienced it too when something's happened that you're like, oh my God. And that you realize what, I'm rushing or I'm driving faster than I should.
Not many times really, but there's definitely like 1 or 2 standout times. One time, funnily enough, we were in Bristol and we got lost trying to get back to the airport. We hired a car and we got lost trying to get back to the airport. And we got to the airport and there was like 2 minutes left before check-in closed. And we were like, there's no way we're getting stuck here. Like we had like, our kids were much smaller at the time. So they were all like, we like formula, diapers, everything. And there's like, fuck, there's no way we're missing this flight. And we were running and running. But like, I don't think we were ever rude to anyone. We were just tried our best to get to where we needed to get to. And then when we got there, we were like, oh, have we made it? And he's like, yeah, just like, it's fine. You have like 5 minutes. And we're like, oh, thank God. But like, even if we'd missed it, I would just been like, oh, well, we tried.
I think that the reason it hurts when you see people being unreasonable and being dickheads, especially when you're on holiday, is that you're trying to put in the effort to not be like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when we're traveling, I'm trying to make sure that when I'm dealing with the locals, or I'm trying to be as open to the way they do things as possible.
Oh, I think 100%. We're even more culturally aware of that in Japan, where it's so different and everyone's so polite and so crazy. All right,
I don't want to mess this up for you guys.
But we also hear such horror stories about tourists that you feel guilty as a tourist.
100%. But then when you see someone who's giving tourists a bad name, especially if they're from your country or they're adjacent, English-speaking country like America, you think, why did we put in all this effort? And now you've given all these people a story about how terrible these English-speaking tourists are. I just feel like you have so little guilt about the work I've put in to be a decent tourist and I just don't care. I'm on holiday, me. Then it's just like, oh my fucking God, that's the tourist people are going to remember.
Yeah.
So when I go somewhere and the British tourists are being cocks, I think, please don't be English. Please don't be English. And then you hear their voice and you think, fuck, now I'm lumped in with them for the rest of my life. This sucks. I hate it.
Yeah. It's especially, like you said, you're making an effort to be reasonable and not to create a scene and to create a stink or whatever. And especially if you have kids, you're trying to show them not to be like that as well. And so if you're in line and the person in front of you is going off on one because whatever hasn't worked out or whatever, your kids are just standing there watching this happen. And oftentimes they're saying like, why is that person so angry? And you're like, oh, well, you have to explain it to them and hope that they don't just, copy that behavior and instead they just copy the behavior that you're trying to model and stuff. There's some social responsibility in there, right? Like to have a little bit of restraint, when you feel like you're just going to have an almighty Karen meltdown in the Tesco or whatever, like you have to consider that there are other people around that don't really want to hear you doing this and they don't want their kids to have to listen to this either, because you are constantly trying to teach them how to interact with society. Exactly. Something that they are already part of, but are going to be majorly a part of, like in not that many years. Like they grow up quick, and then they're hopefully going to be fully functioning members of society. They'll be,
you hope so,
the probably the people that are going to be your doctors when you're even older, and dentists and all these people that have seen you now acting like a cunt and are going to be very aware of your cuntish ways in the future.
Yeah, it's bad.
It is bad.
You know what? I think that the thing is, you do end up burdening your children with the knowledge of how awful other people are when you raise them right. Because now my kids hate litter so much that when they see litter, they see people just leaving stuff everywhere, they get irrationally angry because they haven't yet reached the point where they've given up. Yeah. They're still young and hopeful. And they're like, the world can be a better place. Whereas now I'm just like, I have abandoned all hope for things ever getting good ever again. And so I've kind of just sunk into this depressed hole, whereas they're still like, no, there's still hope. There's still hope. And I don't want to tell them there isn't. But when they see people having a barbecue in the middle of the green and just setting fire to the grass and being like, "Lamau," and just leaving, I'm like, kids, the whole world's going to burn, and you're going to be the ones saying, "How could we let this happen?"
This is it.
I'm sorry.
This is it, right? It is this gradual erode. This is being a dad, but getting to a certain age. A lot of the things we talk about in this podcast, we realize that we are becoming our fathers, right? Or at least we're becoming old men. No. We're becoming grumpy old men.
And it makes us realize like my dad.
Why
could not be less like him.
Why grumpy old men are like the way they are. And I think a lot of the things we've talked about today. It's like a male
menopause thing. I think in a general sense, men lose testosterone over time, and that leads them to be grumpier.
Sad.
Yeah, depression. They retreat from society more. They're alone more. It is like an old man thing. It's a known old man thing. The older you get as well, it gets worse and worse. I don't know if there's any way around it. Maybe just like have some hormone therapy or something. Maybe that's
I do find that I do feel better if I do like exercise and stuff, like lifting things or cycling or just playing any kind of outside activity sport or whatever. Yeah. I always feel a lot better. I feel like, oh, this is fun, and I'm getting some testosterone and stuff going. But I feel like a lot of the time, just as you get older, you genuinely have less energy.
Yeah.
And it is just harder to get up and move around and have that impetus.
I find I'm a lot more. I was talking about this yesterday when I was streaming. I'm definitely crankier, and I find I have less patience for like weird things, like I find like I feel really inconvenienced.
Who moved the remote? Why have you put the remote on that table? It lives on this table.
Yeah, but like I don't get angry. But I like I'm a known, like I sigh a lot. Like I'm I'll be like like if something isn't, or like if I open a cupboard and like a million things fall out of it, and I'm just trying to get like, a replacement toothpaste or something, you'll hear it, like the whole house will just be like, oh, he's opened a cupboard, because like all you can hear is it's like the cupboard has sighed, like I open it up and it's like, it's funny. I can laugh about it, but I definitely see myself doing this more and more. I'm getting more annoyed by like little things that I probably shouldn't be annoyed by, but I think it's just
I've been looking through this loose news because we haven't done it for a little while, I've got 2 articles about slime or goo.
Oh hell yeah!
Would you like
slime.
Would you like them?
What do you mean you've got 2 articles about slime?
I was watching this thing.
Goo?
I was watching just on the topic of slime and goo quickly before you start. I was watching this thing where this man, I think he weighed 900 pounds, and he was in bed, and he looked like a puddle of slime, like a person. No, he did. He had like absolutely no shape. But I suppose you wouldn't at that size. Like he was just.
No, I mean you've.
Oh my god, the amount he ate is unbelievable.
Think about the skeleton beneath that. Like your skeleton doesn't grow.
No, it's just a normal skeleton with just lots of extra flesh and stuff.
Layers and layers of flesh.
But no, it struck me that like he just looked like when you get to be that big, you just look. He was laying in bed because I don't think he could do anything else.
What else?
But he just looked like a puddle of person. Like, but like it was.
Yeah, there
is
he
everywhere.
Is.
Yeah,
puddle dude.
Sorry,
puddle dude.
It just reminded me of that.
A ship on the Great Lakes.
Right.
Okay. Was
remind me where the Great Lakes are again? That's in America.
Yeah, that's
right?
like Ontario, Michigan. Like you got
Lakes. Got
like the Erie.
Oh yeah,
Lake Erie, Superior,
near Chicago and all that. Superior, Michigan, and Huron. Lake Huron.
Huron.
Yeah.
So
Huron.
There was a research vessel that was put into dry dock and being mended, and they noticed that there was this viscous black gunk on the rudder shaft of the ship.
Isn't that oil?
And so it was like a thick grease or oil, but the rudder shaft wasn't supposed to be lubricated by anything other than lake water.
Right.
And instead of like a petroleum smell, it had like a weird metallic smell. It also didn't leave a sheen on the water nor burn in a blowtorch flame. So they sent a sample of it to the University of Minnesota Duluth Large Lakes Observatory, right? Or whatever, someplace. And they analyzed it. And this stuff called ship goo, they've called it, has got previously unidentified forms of life in it.
No
right?
way!
Which I suppose is a thing that can happen,
ship
right?
goo.
Like microbes.
Ship goo 001. There it is. It's a mixture of apparently newly discovered forms of microbial life found upon a ship in the Great Lakes.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's obviously been relatively like sealed. Okay, it's a complicated puzzle, but I think that area of the ship was something that was exposed to the sea, but or the lake, but also didn't really have any oxygen. So they're not sure what it was feeding off, whether it was feeding off like the water, stuff in the water, or whether it was feeding off like the metal on the rudder.
Anaerobic. That's incredible.
I know. And so it's got these weird microbes, and it is just kind of fascinating, right? That this is still happening, that nature, I guess, is creating these interesting things. So you have seen this before with new microbes evolving to like degrade plastics or degrade, waste, because that's what nature does. It sees a source and it figures out a way to eat it.
Like it's cotton candy after the water's been consumed.
So hold on, there's a Stephen King short story called, I think it's called The Raft.
Soup in a bread bowl.
About some sexy young people that go out swimming at night, and there's a raft in the middle of a lake, and there's this viscous goo, this animated goo that slithers across the lake, and at one point, it sucks one of them into the lake.
Okay.
And one guy is standing on the raft, and they're trying to stay away from the water so they don't get eaten by the goo. They're going to wait till daylight and then signal for help. And there's a tiny crack in the raft, and he gets sucked through that small crack, which is like 2 inches across by 2 inches across. His entire body is sucked through that gap. And it's a very Stephen King-y description of like his eyes bugging out of his head and blood. And it's really horrific. It stuck with me a long time because I read that when I was a kid. So as soon as you mentioned ship goo, I was like, do not go swimming near the ship goo.
Ship goo, it sounds disaster. But But the second article about goo
was written by the
is-
ship goo. I am ship goo.
underneath New York City.
Yeah.
Or in fact, not New York City, but New York generally.
This
Okay.
Ghostbusters. This is you're going to describe the entire of Ghostbusters 2 here, aren't you?
Yes, there is a massive blob
Yeah.
Slime!
Which they're calling-
It's an ocean of slime!
of rock underneath Appalachia
Right.
that's oozing towards New York City, apparently. It's
What-
a weird thermal upwelling that has long been a puzzling feature of North American geology.
Under a mysterious hot blob of underground rock.
So
Good
it's
heavens.
basically a sort of slime ball thing, which I don't think it's slime, but it's kind of not exactly solid either. It's like hot rock, basically. It's kind of like lava or magma. And
Magma.
It's been slowly
Magma.
it's been slowly oozing its way towards New York City.
Right.
Cool.
It came from the Greenland, North America rift zone, but it's going to take about 10 million years to
Yeah,
reach.
it's
Right.
moving
New
at 12
York.
miles every million years. That's,
So it's not oozing all that fast, but eventually it will.
what's it going to do?
Well, I think we need to send in the Ghostbusters when it gets there in 12 million years.
It's going to kidnap
Dunno.
a child and sacrifice it to a painting of an old medieval warlord from Eastern Europe, and it's going to form an airtight seal around a museum as well.
Yeah,
Those are just
Yeah.
that's just the kind of top 3 things it's going to do, amongst other things as well.
yeah, and we're going to need a team of 4 men or possibly women.
Yes.
To shoot it with proton packs and capture it in a toaster.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good. Pyrion, what do you have to say? What's it actually going to do?
I don't know. I'm
He
not a
doesn't know.
scientist.
It says in the article.
It said, okay, so it did say that it basically causes a slight uplifting of the terrain above it. And then as it travels, as it leaves, obviously stuff kind of sinks back down a tiny bit. So it might cause, it's like a big bubble of goop.
It's like
And it
Tremors.
uplifts things above it. Yeah. So New York City might rise a little bit and then come back down a little bit. That's it.
There you go, slime news.
God, thank
Bit
you
of
so
slime
much
news.
for the slime news.
You're welcome.
In 10 million years, we're fucked no matter what. So, at least we have, there's a lot of people that are sort of guessing, oh, maybe the world will end this way, or maybe the world in 10 million years, that slime is going to start with New York, and that's only the start. It's going to keep going.
Yes.
It's going to gobble up all the great cities. And then when it's done with that, it's going to hit all the little villages. And then before you know it, there's nothing left.
How about that?
Do you want the rest of Lou's news? Shall we go through the
yeah,
rest? We've got
go
some
on.
more.
Do it.
Make it quick, Lou.
So
and make it interesting.
A woman named Christine Cornell endured years of persistent facial pain
Right.
before it was discovered that she was suffering from an E. coli infection that had been lodged in her sinuses.
Oh my God.
This is a surprising location for a germ that's normally found in the gut. However, they believe they've now found the source. Apparently, when she had ankle surgery, she was lying in bed. Her boyfriend farted on her face.
What
And
a shithead.
it caused her to have 7 years of infection.
What a
Wait, so she
fucking
can
asshole.
pinpoint the start of the pain at that point, and that's where their
Do you know
investigations
what?
went?
Do you know what I reckon it is, love? Do you remember that Thursday morning I woke up and I farted in your face? Yeah, I do remember that. I remember that very well, actually. And somehow, for some
It was
reason, we're
very
still
pungent.
together. We're still
God.
together 7 years later.
It was so
I reckon
pungent.
that was that. I reckon I gave you that E. coli then. Because I had a really bad stomach that day. That's why I farted in your face. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You thought it was really funny, didn't you? Yeah, I did think it was fucking hilarious because I love you. And that's how I show that, by literally spraying shit particles from my arse alongside a very unpleasant gas into the face of my loved one, as any man would. Well, just a bit of a laugh, innit?
I'm just going to head out onto the beach, get my belly out with a pint. Well, not
Where's
very well
my
inside
fryer?
cream.
Oh. I'm gonna drink
fucking hell. All
I'm
right.
gonna drink up my water out of a plastic bottle and then eat it when I'm done as well.
So that is that one. Then apparently,
I love how they traced it back. How did they figure that out? We've got CCTV footage of
taking
you
a sample
farting
from
in
your
your wife's
boyfriend's
face.
ass, and
Case closed.
it's a perfect match. Yeah.
So in turtle tortoise news, Sips, you'll like this one.
I love this. Yeah,
there's a tortoise called Goliath.
right,
and he is a Galapagos big old Galap.
Yeah,
he is 135 years old.
Right.
Okay, and he has just become a father.
My
That's
God,
correct.
he's like the Al Pacino of the tortoise world. He's like the Robert De Niro of the tortoise. Was the tortoise that he created new life with 20 years old?
Oh my God, almost certainly. He is 234 kilos.
Wow,
he's massive.
God, he's a
and
unit.
His little babies, you
sounds
can hold
like a
them,
fine specimen.
They're like the size of the palm of your hand.
He's not
well, he'll still be around for the New York
testosterone.
slime crisis in 10 million years. Probably they live a long time.
So apparently he was tempted with various several females, and it wasn't until he met Sweet Pea, who is
my little Sweet Pea,
tortoise's
come and rub my
mother.
shell for me. Oh yeah.
It doesn't say anything about Sweet Pea,
Sweet
but
Pea.
I'm sure she's probably.
These articles never mention the women. Charles Dance's father, the actor Charles Dance.
Yes.
His dad was born in 1874.
Right.
Wow. Holy crap.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
And was old as fuck when he had Charles Dance. His wife was, I think, 30, and Dance Senior was in his 70s. And now Charles Dance is old as fuck. And 1874. That's pretty wild.
God,
that's Napoleonic, isn't it?
That's crazy. No, that's not.
Well, I think
Almost.
Anna Nicole Smith's late husband was born in like 1625. And they got married when he was like 95 years old.
Napoleon died in 1821. There is
we honestly, that whole decade, we're just like, that was Napoleonic, wasn't it? That whole century. 1801 to 1901 is just Napoleon, isn't it? 100 years of boshing around. Yeah.
So there is that's that. Orcas.
Yeah.
Orcas, they're
green.
amazing.
Wow, those lads.
They've been seen using kelp to exfoliate each other and stuff. So like using tools, basically.
Right.
They post about it. Get ready with me, Orca channel on TikTok.
The first marine. Yeah, they're like rubbing kelp and stuff on their.
I start my day with a kelp rub applied by one of the other orcas because I don't have hands, and then it's off in the ocean for 24 hours of swimming and torturing a couple of seals.
Is this like in 10 years there's going to be like Orca Steve, the big influencer who said that you should smother kelp all over yourself daily, has died from kelp.
I was going to say, what would be more likely is if he was sexually assaulted someone. That would be the normal fucking content creator path to go down, isn't it?
This is a fucking insane article that apparently mushrooms have played a song on a keyboard.
Fuck off. Next.
Here's an article.
Next. Don't even read any of that, please. Next. Straight to next.
Apparently,
was it the theme music for Doom? Because that anytime anything plays music, it always seems to be Doom.
If the mushrooms, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd
but
be
it's
good.
not. Lewis, I don't want you to read that story. Do not read it.
Okay.
We were so afraid
of
AI taking our jobs that we forgot to see the real threat.
Please let the mushrooms take over.
Playing
I like them
the
a lot
keyboard.
more than AI.
Don't let the mushrooms take over.
They
are nasty.
That is
I hate
mental.
fungus. Is so fucking nasty. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
Retro gaming YouTuber in Italy may face jail time for reviewing an Android-powered handheld gaming device that sometimes come preloaded with old games. So, as emulation is on the murky grey area of what's allowed.
Right.
Sometimes he basically is a guy who sort of has had tons and tons of old game consoles and random game consoles and ROMs, and so he might be going to prison for just buying something that was preloaded with ROMs that he didn't even download or install himself.
Man.
There you go. That's a fucking spooky world we live in, isn't it?
Yo, what are you in for? I've got a whole bunch of ROMs on my handheld device.
I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the SNES.
Do you remember that game? It came out in 1991.
Yeah, gaming news otherwise. Old school RuneScape is more popular than ever.
Yes,
it's very popular.
It's
I never got into that one.
RuneScape.
Good.
The
Sorry,
current...
RuneScape enjoyers, but no. To give you some idea, Sips, that is not just a casual game.
I don't want to hear too much about it because a lot of people say don't go near it because for you it's like crack.
No, it's not for you. I guarantee you it's not for you. All right, I will give you an example. This is something I was reading. I watched a video about this the other day actually, and I've read a bit about it. I have mates who play RuneScape. They're obsessed with it, but it's the amount of efficiency that you need to have. There is an add-on you can get that is like a clicker tempo thing. If you click your mouse every 0.6 seconds, you can get a hit in on the exact tick of the server, so you can do more attacks.
Right.
And if you're on 1 health and an enemy fires an arrow at you, if you only have 1 health, the arrow will only do 1 hit point of damage. So while the arrow is in the air, you have, I think, half a second to quickly eat some food that gives you an extra health. So now you're on 2 health. So the arrow only does 1 health. That's the level of bullshittery that this game is. It's not just a fun, let's go chop some wood. These lads are doing it. They're like, I have to make sure that I chop wood exactly, efficiently, click, 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 click. It's insane.
Yeah.
People have been
it's not a
talking,
game.
a lot of big WoW streamers have been going over to RuneScape and talking about it and being very much like, well, this is like, they're saying things like, well, I think one of the things I saw said, RuneScape feels like WoW without the FOMO, or like it feels like, I don't know, like different. It's very different. It's a very, very different game. But anyway, it's got 240,000 players compared to the official RuneScape version, which has only got a tenth as many players. So it's really like having a moment right now, old school RuneScape.
It's just
but
if you are a
been
super sweat, and you really want a game where you can focus on things like server tick rates and maximum efficiency, it's 100% for you, and it will eat your time. I do not think that is you, brother. For the games that you play, I think you'd get, this is really annoying quite quickly, in my opinion.
Well, here you go. This is the next article. The odds of getting 360 no-scoped by someone who consumes prune juice are higher than you think. Older adults represent a significant chunk of US gamers. More than a quarter of the 205 million gamers in the US are 50 and older.
Wow.
Almost half of baby boomers play a video game every week. And 36% of people in their 80s play a video game every week.
Oh my God. Well, that'll be me if I ever make it to my 80s and I'm in my 80s, I'll be gaming. I'll still be gaming.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do at that age?
There's like, for example, there's like a 60-year-old tactical grandma who's so good at Call of Duty that she's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitch. It's crazy. It's a huge untapped marketplace. Old people games. You know, maybe we should like invest in games where your grandchildren give you a phone call, or, you know, just a thing that reminds you when Matlock's on.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's all the stuff, all the old stuff, all the good old stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to be qualified as an older adult soon, P-Flax. How do you feel about that?
Sorry, say it again. I missed the start.
When do you turn 50, Flax?
Next year, March.
Next March. Right,
older adults, that is.
What were you saying? You asked me a question. Repeat it, please.
You're going to be an older adult.
Yes, I already feel like I am. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I felt old for the last 8 years, I'd say.
Okay.
41, I thought things are going all right. 45, I said, not so great. And now I'm 50 next year. I mean, I'm just old. I've just abandoned all hope of ever being young and energetic ever again. So I'm just trying to
try to lean
as chill
into
as
it.
possible. Just be chill. But if you lean into it, you become that stereotypical grumpy old man.
Yeah.
And people tell me I'm a grumpy old man online and stuff, but I really think it's an unfair.
Well, talking about turning 50,
unfair statement.
Microsoft has just turned 50,
wow.
and it's released these Crocs.
Michael Rosoft, yeah,
has made some special Crocs, custom Crocs, Windows XP Crocs for you to
Windows XP.
Windows
yes.
XP Crocs. I'm interested in Windows XP Crocs because Windows XP is still a good OS.
There you go. I've posted a little picture of them
Microsoft
in the
50th
recording server for you
Crocs.
to enjoy. They have a little clippy on them.
They got clippy.
They've got a little
those
recycle
are ghastly.
bin
Those
on
are
them.
ghastly.
They are hilarious, honestly.
Those are like pins that you
uh,
can pin through the holes of the Crocs,
Yes,
right?
yes, they're very popular.
They cost $80, and they come with a matching drawstring backpack.
Oh my god!
So there you go. If you want to have something to take the bins out in, that also reminds you of the good old days of Windows XP. There you go. That's the thing that's probably not available now.
Finally, some more accessories that will ensure I will never touch a female for the rest of my life. This is exactly what I needed. More accessories to help me with this.
Could you drive women away from me even more, please? Thank you.
Speaking of,
little
what?
update
Go on.
for all the Puritans out there. I've unfollowed all of the thirst traps on my Instagram.
Really?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Why?
Two reasons.
Like, what the
Two
fuck
reasons.
is the
You
deal
seem to
with
get
this?
so much joy from that. Why did you give up?
I did, but I unfollowed them for two reasons. One, because I got sick of people saying I was, and I quote, a bad father for following those
Right.
ladies. Fuck you. And I thought I don't want to give them that ammunition, so I've unfollowed.
Okay.
Don't need the puritanical right coming after me being a bunch of Christian knobheads about it. But two, and the real reason, is if you followed me, it apparently would recommend these accounts to you quite often.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, fair enough. And so I unfollowed. Occasionally,
I
I
just
still
followed
notice one
you
that I
so that I
haven't
can get
unfollowed.
in
Yeah.
on some of this hot
But you know
booty
what?
action.
Well, I'm sorry, bud. But now when I click search to look for new accounts, there's a surprising lack of bosoms on here. It's all like sports stuff and people I know and like Harry Hill clips. And
Okay.
Right.
so I'm like, this is actually a lot
purged
better.
your
Harry
feed.
Hill clips. I
Maybe-
will say
maybe
that not something
yeah.
that's ever been recommended to me on any
Oh, I love Harry Hill.
platform.
But
I do like
want to
Harry
point
Hill.
something out.
Find it
I do
funny.
want to point something out. I do also still know a lot of very attractive women, and working in esports and working with the Yogs, that is just the way it is. So every time you see an attractive woman, maybe just think to yourself, hey, maybe that's someone he knows,
Yeah.
rather than coming after me.
Oh,
Just a thought.
Good. Thank you. That's a great way to do it. So, a man has been awarded $12,000 after Google Street View camera caught him naked in his back garden. So
Wow.
obviously he has got a 6.5 foot high wall around his garden,
Right.
but the Google streetcar is taller than that, and it could see over, and it caught him nude, and he got. And it was revealed to all of his small town in Argentina, and he was very embarrassed by it. So he was apparently ridiculed at work and amongst his neighbours.
What, for being nude in his backyard?
Up until recently, a court dismissed his claim for damages, ruling he only had himself to blame for walking around in inappropriate conditions in the garden of his home. However, after an appeal, they concluded this man's dignity had been flagrantly violated.
I don't know if my penis has ever felt direct sunlight before.
Right. Really?
I don't think it's ever even seen the light of day, has it?
Not often. No, it's normally
tucked away.
tucked away.
Hibernated.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
normally
there have been
hibernated.
times when sun has come in a window, or I've had the windows open and some sunlight has.
But like
has-
directly on your penis?
I would say, yeah. If I'm indoors and the windows, we've got like those big dormer windows. If they're open because it's hot and I'm in some sunlight, yeah, I'm sure some of it's directly
Have you
at
never
my penis.
been
But outdoors,
skinny
I can't
dipping?
think.
Like-
I have been skinny dipping, but I kept my underpants on.
But
That's
even
not
then,
skinny dipping.
like
I
skinny
couldn't
dipping is
bring
something
myself.
that kind of happens at night, though.
It
isn't
was
it?
nighttime,
It's
but equally,
true, that's
there's a lot
true.
of shrinkage. You know, like George said, there's shrinkage. I
There's
don't want to be
shrinkage.
there
There is.
with this tiny little cold pee-pee and people to be like, oh, that's all he's carrying around. So I wore underpants.
I think
That's
it's food for
amazing.
thought, though. Like,
I'm trying to think of if my penis has ever seen the light of day either.
Yeah,
Outdoors.
I mean,
Like-
like it'll be
like-
naturally lit in your house during the day. I've had my dick out for sure.
I'm
you
just
know.
wondering
But
if
I don't know if
and
it's ever
again-
basked in direct
All
sunlight.
right, here, wait. So directionally,
In my
here's
entire
one.
life,
that
Here's one. There's been
Argentinian
an
man who was in
uninterrupted-
his backyard naked has felt full on unfiltered sunlight directly onto his penis.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
because-
if I've ever had
because,
that.
you know, when you're born in a hospital, you know, you then get swaddled and you get taken home
Yeah.
and everything's covered up, right, for your whole life. So I don't know if ever I have been, maybe when I was a little boy, maybe
Yeah.
like playing in the garden or
Yeah,
something.
but within living adult memory. All right, here's when it might have happened. If you've ever had to take a pee outdoors,
Oh, yeah.
up against a
Okay.
tree or something like that.
Yeah,
I've
but
done that a
even
few
then,
times.
it's
So-
not. I don't know if I would have done that in direct
That wouldn't be the
sunlight. It's- I
balls.
would have found
It's
a
under a
shady
tree.
spot.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
shade. Yeah,
That's true.
I'm trying to think
But
of any
maybe
occasion.
it was.
No,
Okay, that's
it.
nice to know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was dappled, like dappled
Dappled,
sunlight.
so it may have felt dappled sunlight upon its shaft, but it has not felt the raw solar
I need to get my dish
radiation.
into a tanning
the
booth, or
raw-
maybe just get one of those,
Full
like one of
powered.
those lights that people use, like when they don't get enough sunlight, like an indoor light.
Yeah.
Maybe just shine that right onto my dick or something. I don't know. Maybe I think my dick would benefit from
Get a bit
it.
of
though.
sunlight
Yeah.
on your pee-pee. Hey,
Yeah.
here's our week's mission. We can set ourselves all a mission of get some sunlight on your pee-pee, even if only just for a second, just to say you've done
Don't
it.
take a picture of
No,
it, though.
no pictures. And listen, I'm not asking chat. I'm not asking people listening to this. I'm saying the three of us.
Oh, okay.
I'm not asking listeners.
I'm
Please,
going to a
listeners, I don't
family
wanna hear
holiday
your story.
destination next week.
Yeah, but there might be a moment where it's really sunny and there's no one around. You just
I
peep out,
won't
just
risk
like,
it.
boop, boop, just for a second.
That would be. What if? I mean, that would be really embarrassing.
What are you doing? Just trying to get some sun on the old
I
fella. you know?
realized that I've reached the age of 45 years, and I don't think my penis has ever enjoyed direct sunlight. So I decided that this is the time for it to happen in the middle of
And
this
then the
busy
Google car
market
comes
square.
driving by.
This heavily touristed area. I've got my penis out, everybody, and it is
Look
enjoying
away,
the sun.
everybody. He needs to see sunlight. He must enjoy the kiss of the sun.
I want
All
my
right,
dick
well, there
to be
you go, that-
sun-kissed this
My
season.
sun-kissed
summer.
sun-kissed cock. My
That
sun-kissed
is
summer
it.
cock.
We're stopping.
There is
Thank you.
your podcast title.
Be a good
My
band
sun
name, actually.
kissed
Sun-kissed
summer
cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sun-kissed summer cock.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Jesus Christ.
All right, cool.
There's different ways to interpret that one as well, I suppose.
Thank you, everyone.
Anyway,
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh my
Love
God! Don't you fuck me? Yes. Shit.
What?
My son kissed.
Oh God. Okay, God. I didn't even notice that.
Just got it.
Ay, ay, ay.
See you later. Bye.